Hey y'all, this is Whitney from Spastic Chatter, and if you didn't know, Spastic Chatter is a platform meant to feature those in the cerebral palsy community, and I get together weekly with individuals with CP like myself to have an uncensored chat, if you will, about what it's like living with this type of disability. And for this week, I have a very interesting guest, in my opinion. Her name is Amanda, and she goes by National Park Capable on Instagram. And her bio caught me. It says visiting all U.S. national parks. So I, of course, wanted her on Spastic Chatter so we could talk about everything outdoors and about some national parks. So I'm going to let Amanda introduce herself, and then we'll get on to the conversation. So take it away, Amanda.
Hey, thanks everybody. My name is Amanda. A few months ago, I started National Park Capable just to spread awareness that the outdoors is for everyone of all different abilities. So I'm trying to visit all the national parks. So far, I've visited 10 national parks, and I'm excited to visit a lot more. I'm hoping in the future to be able to open up a nonprofit to help more people with all abilities get in the outdoors. So I'm pretty excited about that. But thanks for letting me be on here. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, just in case anyone knows. So on my profile, I also share a lot of outdoors things in Utah when I'm not able to travel because of money and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome. So what got you into like outdoors and like traveling and hiking and all that outdoorsy stuff? What got you into that?
What I always like grew up around the outdoors. Like my family, we used to have a cabin before it burnt down, unfortunately, my extended family. So that's kind of sad. But so we've always been into like four-wheelers and just going outdoors, going camping. So I would say it probably started from like my family. And then about like 5 years ago, I found out that if you have a permanent disability, that you can get a free access National Parks Pass, where you can visit all the national parks for free. So then I just got really excited about that since I love the outdoors anyways. So I started visiting the outdoors, all the national parks.
That's awesome. So I like cerebral palsy is like it's like a broad spectrum. So like where in your own words, like I'm curious where do you have like more mild CP where like you're to where like you can go hiking, for instance, and like not have any like real issues, or like how would you describe your CP?
So I have spastic dysplasia, and it's more affected on my left side. But yes, I have mild cerebral palsy, so I'm able to walk most of the time without assistance. There's times sometimes where I do need to use like a walker, or like on occasion if I'm doing long distances and stuff, I have to use a wheelchair.
Have you found that most of the national parks are like accessible for you? Like when you're like have you ever like used a walker like when you're traveling for the national through the parks and stuff?
Yeah, I've used most of the time actually I use my husband's arm. So I used his arm a lot, or there's been times that I have brought the wheelchair and my husband pushes me. So I mean but I have found that like some of the parks are obviously more accessible than others. But yeah, so I mean, it just depends on the park that you go to. If you can find accessible trails, if it's like paved or not paved. But I mean, for me, if I'm not using like help, like the wheelchair or something, I use like my hiking poles. And I mean, I can only go, on average, like under like a mile or like maybe a mile or two before I start to like struggle and my legs start to hurt or start to have spasms. The biggest hike I think I've done in the national parks was the Delicate Arch Trail at Arches National Park, and that one's almost 3 miles, and that one was really hard.
Awesome. And after I asked that question, I realized it was kind of bored. So I apologize if I put you on the spot with that. But yeah, that's really awesome. So my next, like, this is just like a fun, like, a little like humor to this, because that's just how I am. So if I go in your experience with going to 10 national parks, if I go on my power wheelchair to some of the parks, will I be able to like venture off with like go wherever I want to, or is there some parts that like you wouldn't take a power wheelchair?
Yeah, unfortunately, there are some parts that you wouldn't be able to explore. But I feel like the good thing about a lot of the parks is that they have a lot of viewpoints. There's a lot of viewpoints. And then there are, like I said, there are a few accessible ones. But then there's also those ones that are just like, I don't know, like 5 miles and it's like really rocky and stuff, So like those are some of those that like, have you ever heard of Zion's National Park before?
Yeah, I think so. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's in Utah. And there's a really famous hike there. It's called Angel's Landing. It's also like really dangerous one for anybody of all abilities. But that's one that is like, I won't see myself ever doing that one, Yeah. And you definitely wouldn't be able to do it in a wheelchair either. So like I said, that's what I liked about the national parks, is that they have something for everybody, So yeah.
So
hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, you did. With all that being said, what is out of the 10 parks that you've gone to, what is your favorite right
now? Yellowstone National Park is my favorite.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that one. And also one of the reasons why I love that one the most too is because it is really, really accessible. Like it has a lot of things that you can see on, paved trails, like someone could see in a wheelchair. So I would say if somebody's looking to go to a very accessible park, I would definitely have Yellowstone on your list.
That's awesome. So I'm just looking at your Instagram right now. When did you might have already answered this, but when did you decide to share your like travel experiences on social media, like as a platform? I think you already answered that, but
oh yeah, I think I decided just this summer. It was like later this summer I decided, because I was kind of struggling just kind of with my mental health, and I was like, and getting outside always helps that, but it's been hard for me. So then I was like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that wants to also explore that may be struggling. So maybe I could start it. And then, yeah, I just started connecting with people, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So yeah, it hasn't been too long. I think it's like been like 4 months or something.
Well, you already have you have a good amount of followers already, so
yeah,
in a short time, so that's awesome. So it says here that you're a mom that you're also a mom. So I'm curious, do you bring your child on the hikes to the national parks?
Yeah, so she's been to 3 national parks. And I do bring her on those, but I always bring my husband just to keep her safe because she's a toddler and she runs really fast. You know, she can get going pretty fast, and nowadays she's almost faster than me. So I need someone to be there to help me out, you know. So, but she started being our little hiking buddy, you know, so it's kind of fun.
Awesome. So where's your dream, not like dream destination for like national park or like anywhere to like go and see?
I really, really want to go to the national parks in Alaska. I can't even is it Denali? I think it's called Denali. Sorry, I might be pronouncing it wrong. I'm not very good with words sometimes, but yeah, so Denali, that's one of the national parks in Alaska, but I really just love to like visit a bunch. I think they have 5 there. I might be wrong, but I would love to just spend like a whole month like in Alaska, just like traveling around and going to the different national parks. So that's like my dream one. So
awesome. So I'm curious, how does the whole COVID thing like did it affect your traveling like at all? Obviously it didn't. I probably did a little bit, but how does that how does that affect you, like the whole COVID experience, like with the traveling to national parks? And
yeah, we didn't, it actually turned out to be, I mean, COVID didn't turn out to be good, obviously, but we had decided, so that my daughter was actually born in 2020, like right before the pandemic. So that year we decided that we weren't going to visit many of them just to kind of like recover from, you know, having a baby, because it was really hard on my body. And then we also wanted to get out of some debt that we have, you know, from school and such, you know. And so we decided not to visit that many of them. So it didn't affect us too much. But I mean, some of the national park, I think most of them actually did shut down because they're federal buildings, you know. And but I mean, they're back open now, and most of them, I think you just need to wear a mask, like in the buildings or like busy places and stuff. So it definitely affects, you know, traveling. It hasn't affected us because most of the time we've driven to them, so we haven't had to deal with like
yeah. So what is your do you have a trip planned or
do I have any trip plans, you said?
Yeah, do you have any trip plans to at the moment, or you just?
Yeah, I have like I mean, I have short little weekend ones, but not to national parks, like just outdoorsy places, but just ones close to home. But next month I'm going to Rocky Mountain National Park. So that's in Colorado. So that will be my first time there, and it's the off season as well. So it's going to be, who knows, there might be a lot of snow, and parts of the park is closed in November, but there's still a lot of stuff to see there. So I'm pretty excited about it. I like to go on the off seasons because it's not as busy, because the parks get really busy.
That's a good little tidbit to put out there, that it's not as busy. Obviously it's not as busy on the off season. So you mentioned at the beginning of the episode that you're one of your goals is to create a nonprofit, and I always ask my guests at the end of every episode if they have any advice for others, like going through similar situations. So I'm curious if you have this kind of ties into your dream with being with building a nonprofit. So that's why I mentioned it. But do you have any advice for people who want to like start hiking or like going to national parks?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's like it's the outdoors is for everyone, and it might look different for everybody. So like, I think what held me back a lot was like feeling judgment from other people, like going on the trails, just because, you know, like my walk is different, you know, than what people say is normal. And so I do this because it's, you know, what really is normal. But I don't know. My advice would just be just to do what you love. And like if you like the outdoors, not everybody likes it. I understand that, you know, but if you like the outdoors, like, you know, like get online and find things that are in your abilities, you know, like you can find something for everyone. Even if it's just, I mean, like I hurt my knee recently, falling. I fell pretty hard and like on my kneecap. And so, and also it's like winter. So it's, well, it's not, it's coming to be winter, it's fall. So my legs start to hurt around that time when it's getting colder. So like right now I'm having to rest more, you know, so like I've been going on fall drives instead of going on hikes, you know, just driving to go see the pretty leaves. So like, even if it's just going on a drive with a friend or honestly just sitting outside, like I feel like there's something for everybody, you know. So
I love that advice. So where can people follow you on social media, Amanda?
yeah, so if you just go to at National Park Capable on Instagram. I'm also like in about a week I'm going to be launching my website, so I'll have different blog posts on there of just like ideas for the parks for accessible trails and non-accessible trails. Yeah, so that will just be nationalpark.com. No, sorry, nationalparkcapable.com. So
I like how you kind of like turned your passion into like a resource for other people. So that's very cool. Well, I was gonna mention this at the beginning of the episode, but I got so like transfixed into the conversation that today's actually World CP Day. So those for you those watching this right now, and happy World CP Day. Yeah. But thank you, Amanda, for being a guest on Spastic Chatter. I really enjoyed talking with you. And for those of you watching, if you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out wherever you see this video, and I'd be happy to have you on.
Awesome.
Check back next week for another episode of Spastic Chatter. Thanks. Bye.